Hello, friends. Hey, we've learned about the basic needs of plants and animals. We've learned that they have a lot of things in common and some things that they have separate. So animals need shelter. Plants really don't need shelter. Plants help make shelter for animals. Both plants and animals need energy. I didn't have this one in our Venn diagram. They both need energy. Plants get it from sunlight. Animals get it from eating food. Today, friends, we're going to focus in on air. They both need air, but they need different kinds of air. Fish live in lakes, ponds, streams, and rivers. Today, you're going fishing with me, and we're going to catch some fish, and we're going to learn about the special structures they have for getting air. Animals need a certain part of the air. Animals need O2, also known as oxygen. Have you heard of it? Oxygen is the gas in air that animals need. Plants need a different gas. They need CO2, also known as carbon dioxide. Boys and girls, today we will focus on the air that animals get if they live underwater. How can they do it? They can't breathe through lungs. How does a fish like this bass get the air it needs to survive? Let's find out. Hello, friends. We've been learning about the basic needs of living things, and today I'd like to talk about the basic needs of things that live underwater. That's right, I'm talking mostly about fish. I thought I'd come back here to this pond where I've caught frogs and things before and use this tool to try to see if I can sample the fish that live in this pond. Let's take a look at the unique needs of animals that live underwater. How do they breathe? How do they move? How do they get their food? Let's find out. I'm going to use this fishing rod to see if I can find out. Friends, there are several ways to catch fish with fishing rods. I'm using this spinning reel and spinning rod today to see if I can use live bait to try to catch a fish. So I've got a bobber. That's a float that bobs up and down when a fish is biting. I've got these sinkers on my line to help keep the bait down under the surface of the water. And I've got this hook that I'm going to put a worm on right now. When you put a worm on a hook, you just thread it onto the hook and you try to make it so the point's not showing. That is a nicely baited hook. I wonder if I'll catch a fish with this spinning rod and reel. Let's give it a try. Ah! Here I am. I've got my bobber, my sinkers. My worm is all set. I'm going to open the bail on the reel, hold the line. Now I'm going to cast this out. I wonder if I'll get a fish. Watch. Here I go. Woo. Ooh, good spot. Now I'm watching my bobber to see if I get a fish. Whoa, I got a bite right away. Amazing. Let's try that again. Open the bail, hold onto it with my finger, casting out again. Now I'm fishing. I'm watching the bobber. If it moves or wiggles, I know I've got a fish. Biting. Still have to set the hook. Friends, this is what fishing looks like. Many times you're being patient, just watching your bobber or waiting for a bite. I love being outside fishing, even if I'm not catching fish. Friends, look at this rainbow trout I caught in this pond by my house. Wow, look at that. It has a dorsal fin. It has a tail fin. It has fins coming off its belly, the ventral fins, pectoral fins. Oh man, it really wants to get back in the water. Look at underneath the gill plate. There are the gills. That's how a fish breathes underwater, by using gills. It gets the oxygen out of the water. I'm gonna let this guy go now. That is such a nice rainbow trout. Isn't that beautiful? And they live in this pond, in an aquatic underwater habitat. Let's let them go now. Another way to catch fish is by using lures. This is a crankbait, and it's supposed to kind of look like a small largemouth bass because bass will eat other bass. That's just what they do. So I'm going to use this spin cast rod and reel. This one you hold up like this, and I'm going to cast this lure and see if I can pull it through the water so it looks like a swimming minnow. Maybe a bass will come and try to eat it. This is a lure. It's a different way to fish versus live bait. Nothing that time. I'm reeling it in really fast to try to look like, so it looks like a minnow. I want it to look like a small bait fish that another fish might eat. Another one. I think that's a trout again. Wow. Oh boy. That's a big fish. That's a big one. Look at that. Whoa. Making a run. There it is. I like this guy. Wow. Another beautiful rainbow trout in this pond. They are hungry. Look at that. Look at the tail fin. Look at the dorsal fin. The gills are in that gill plate. I'm going to let him go now. While I didn't catch any bass today, I did catch this largemouth bass back in the month of May. Look at that. All these fish get the oxygen they need by pushing water through their gills. The gills take the oxygen right out of the water. See its gills? It's got to breathe clean water through those gills. Look at this is why they call it a largemouth bass. Its mouth is pretty large. I'm going to let it go gently now before it needs oxygen. There is no air underwater, but there is dissolved oxygen, and the gills of fish can take that oxygen out of the water so it can be used in their bodies for life and survival. Amazing. There it goes. Freedom. If you're fishing for large predator fish like bass or pike, you may have a tackle box full of lures like this. These lures are designed to imitate frogs or fish that other fish, bigger fish, might eat. Look at all those lures. Wow. In addition to trout and bass, this pond also has some very nice bluegills in it. Bluegills are probably the most common fish you're likely to find in a lake or pond around here. Notice the dark spot on the gill cover. The pumpkin seed sunfish, a cousin of the bluegill, has an orange spot on its gill cover. Now for your assignment, label the parts of a nice bluegill like this. Look at the fin on top. That's the dorsal fin or back fin. These bluegills also have tail fins, anal fins, pectoral fins. Notice that the gills are covered by a tough plate called the gill plate or gill covering. Have fun labeling your fish, friends.